We send the blitz and Maddox slows him down. Clean pocket though, as I say that, picked up. Set play action throwing, and there's the pick. Though Ioannidis picks up the sack. We do get a little bit of some pass rushing. Biggs versus Biggs, and he will walk in as they're setting up the throw. Aaron Donald, Kyler Murray, lofting, picked off. That should be game. Now, following that 2-game win streak, it would abruptly end. And then we pulled off the close win against the Seahawks. As we'll hand this one off, Connor rolls over the defender. As we had Hamler, will be a throw pass rush. Donald. Defense stays out there, White down the middle. Sets. We go back to it, and the second time is the charm. Tyler Boyd lead him, and that's gonna be another pick to seal the game. That one pretty much ensures that we are not making it to the playoffs. More guys around him, but the Dolphins diving in. Well, there's Boyd making the adjustment on the throw. Fullback dive. That's easily going to be the first down as he breaks through, tying this game up. Though we go Connor with some space up top. He will rush into the end zone. Rush, throwing, and picked off in the back of the end zone. But we will finish this season 1 with a win. And after a fun yet unfortunate and disappointing end to season 1, we start today by wrapping up season 1 before we get into the offseason and jump into season 2. And I think the awards here really go to show where this team had its most success. Defensive Player of the Year is none other than Aaron Donald, and today can very much drastically change depending on if he retires or not. Hopefully he doesn't. Now, Offensive Rookie of the Year, unfortunately, goes to Bijan Robinson, but our tight end in Brenton Strange was right behind him. He had a fantastic season, and hopefully he builds well upon it. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson Jr. Once again, runner-up, we have Dennis, our starting middle linebacker, and on top of it, jump on down here, we also had Cansey. So we've got some guys that showed some promise their rookie seasons. Really need that to continue to develop. And one last thing before we move on, Aaron Donald was the best defensive lineman. And on top of the yearly award success, we also had 2 Pro Bowlers. Brenton Strange, tight end 3 for AFC. And of course, none other than Aaron Donald would be our top defensive lineman over on the right end spot for AFC. So 2 really good players for us. Again, really hope Donald sticks around. And Brenton Strange, hopefully that Pro Bowl has boosted his development. But as season 1 officially comes to a close, it is the Chicago Bears with a narrow win over the Texans 24-21 to win their second ever Super Bowl. And it is with CJ Stroud as their MVP. The official yearly awards over on the right hand side, and yes, Aaron Donald did win Defensive Player of the Year. But he would not retire. We did have one retiree in Greg Van Roten, and he was our starting right guard. We already knew we needed to address that position, even if he did not retire. But indeed, we did get that development upgrade for Brenton Strange. He goes up to a star dev. Unfortunately for Dennis, despite being the runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year, he does not get any development upgrade. We need to start re-signing some players. Tyler Boyd is at the beginning here. He's 29 years old. Jordan Whitehead, I would like to keep around. He does have interest. That works out well. And Brenton Strange does not have any interest, but we could offer him a pretty big deal. Drew Scruggs, want to keep him around. He's young, but a lot of these guys, we're not seeing a whole lot of interest. So we're going to have to try to work some things out for sure. Now, here is who we were able to re-sign. Some guys chose not to come back. Some we did not offer to. We locked down Chad Ryland, our kicker, for 2 years. He's coming off an iffy season. He was a rookie. We'll see how well he does. Blake Gillikin, solid punter. Keep him around. We brought back a lot of depth guys who were on the younger side. So Marcus Allen, Byron Coward, Carter Warren. We did bring back Raheem Jarrett. I want to say he's 24, and he's on the cusp of potentially getting some playing time. So we're giving some of these guys some 4-year deals. One of those guys is Brenton Strange. Locked him down for the duration of this challenge. On top of that, we also did the same for Jordan Whitehead. Obviously, though, we're missing some guys like Tyler Boyd. That's going to have to be open free agency. And that open free agency period would go all right here for us. We did sign a new offensive lineman in Ryan Bates. Whether he gets the starting spot, we're going to have to see after the draft. We did bring in Jacob Martin. He's going to help out maybe depth, maybe some rotational spots for this defensive line. Taven Young, I don't quite remember if we had prior to. He's mostly going to be depth for our cornerback group. We did sign Juice Scruggs, locked him down for the remainder again of this series, brought back Jalen Twyman, and we brought back Jesse Luketa, another one of our young middle linebackers or off-ball linebackers, and Sean Clifford was brought back to be our backup quarterback. But obviously there is one player missing here. Tyler Boyd was the best receiver in this free agent class, and there were 18 teams that bid on him. He just had so little interest. It didn't matter what offer we really put on the table. I had put up like a 4-year deal. He wasn't that interested. I then gave him a 1-year deal worth about $16 million, which was what the 3-year deal he has here with the Falcons was. But he just did not want to return. So we've got to figure out something for the receiver spot. As we jump forward to talk about the draft, I don't think we're going to find ourselves a receiver in this class. However, there are some pretty promising prospects, and it starts at running back. Out of Temple, Bryce Stallings, 22 years old, 5'10", 235. He's a power guy, and he does not have much speed. But the carrying, break tackle, those are both A's. Ball carrier vision, awareness, both B's. Injury slight concern at a C, trucking B. If we could get him in the second round with the true talent of 1 to 2, I think that would be pretty solid for us, and I'm sure we're picking pretty high. But as for who we go after first and foremost, we need offensive linemen. And there is R.J. Mitchell out of Penn State, 21 years old, 6'3", 341. He's coming in with pretty good strength, 39 to 40 bench reps. Across the board, he is a fantastic blocker if we're not taking a look at finesse. D, pass block finesse, C, run block finesse. But you do have A for impact, lead, run block power, and stamina. The rest of the blockings are B's for the power and the base blocking. And his injury, C, I think would do all right. Awareness, B. All in all, I think R.J. Mitchell is definitely our guy. There is a wide receiver, Josh Johnson here. He's a day 3 talent. I don't think he's going to be all too impactful here for us. He's not a great athlete. And there's a lot to be asked for here for wide receiver skills. The hands, questionable. Short route running, not very good. He has a little bit of some medium and deep. If he's sitting there in a day 3, we might as well pick him up. Now, one guy that was a little bit of a letdown is tight end Nick Walker. Obviously, we're not looking for tight end what we have that in Brenton Strange, but tight end 2, if we switch to more of a heavier style offense, run 2 tight end sets. Walker is 6'5", 242, 22 years old, out of Penn State. He's not super strong, but overall, he's athletic. Skill set wise, he has some run block showing here as an A, some hands. I think there's just some of those intangibles that just never quite develop, but he's looking like more of a, you're reaching as a 3rd round pick. Outside of those, there's really not much else for us to look at here. A whole lot of potential undrafted, so maybe some trade up opportunity and try to find the right spot to go after these guys. And for us, that makes things pretty easy as we are into our first draft of the series. I'm going to get to our pick at 9, and unless something crazy happened and Mitchell goes early, we'll just get straight to our pick. And all would go very smoothly. So it will end up being our selection here, going after the guy we know we need. We are not going to try to do anything fancy. We're just straight up picking our guy, R.J. Mitchell, hidden dev offensive lineman. 93 strength, 83 acceleration. He's got a little bit of some speed, agility, a little bit of some jumping for an offensive lineman. This is going to hopefully massively upgrade the middle of our line, or honestly, he might even play on the outside, wherever he fits best. And as we get to our pick in the second round, our big board here still shows Bryce Stallings. He's a round 1 to 2. We know we're getting some bang for our buck here. Probably a perfect spot for us to go after him. So indeed, we will be going after 2 running backs. I'm seeing heavy rotation. Maybe we have to find someone else to play a little bit of some tight end. We will see. Bryce Stallings, normal dev, despite having that higher talent grade. 82 speed. He is slow, but he's hopefully going to bring some power to his game and be a good 1-2 punch with Connor. But now from here, we are very much open to our options. The tight end that was kind of in this next spot for us, early third round. He does not have a great talent grade, day 3, so we might be hitting the trade block from here. And we have ourselves a couple options we could try to go after here. Now, with this being the Maryland and Pennsylvania state-only challenge, there are some really good receivers. DJ Moore, Maryland. Stephon Diggs, he's 30 years old, but 92. You have Chris Godwin, Penn State, but these guys are all requiring way too much for us to trade right now, because I don't know what the next draft class has in store for us. The other option is to go to tight end. Again, thinking that we're probably going to be running a lot of 2 tight end sets. Out of Maryland, we got Chig Okonkwo, a star dev. He still has some run blocking ability, but he has speed. He might be able to help us stretch the field. Some really solid short route running, great acceleration, has the awareness. I think him plus Strange, that would be a really good tight end combination. So I think we're going to try to make a trade here. And we would end up working out, I feel like, a decent deal here. We get a young developmental tight end and a future 5th round pick. We do give up our 3rd and 4th round this year. Now that still leaves us open to potentially and most likely make a trade for a receiver post draft, or honestly post getting into the next season, where we could see what that draft class looks like. So let's move forward from here and get to our next pick. And someone that's intriguing me here is a potential undrafted Brandon Graham. Obviously a 5th round pick, well above that projection, but this is essentially locking someone down for a 4-year deal. The pass block is only a C. He's most likely going to be a run blocker, interior guy, but he's fitted towards that power. So I think we go with a 22-year-old out of Penn State. Depth for the offensive line, 84 strength. Definitely going to be back up. We'll develop him over the course of the years, and who knows, maybe he'll get a starting spot. He's also a normal dev. Now jumping well forward into the 7th round, where we have the next 2 selections. There is still Josh Johnson sitting here, and I think what we do is we go after him. He's going to be depth for us for, again, our 2nd weakest position group at receiver. Out of Villanueva, Josh Johnson is the pick. Normal dev, 91 speed, 89 acceleration. He's got some change of direction, some agility. All in all, 7th round pick, I think that fits fine. And with this final pick, we're going to take a shot here on Jamal Rivers. 6'3", 245. He's an outside linebacker who's going to have to move over to left or right end. He's not the strongest. We're hoping that the positive side here are top end swings in our way with A to C finesse moves. This might be a bust of a pick and he may not make the final roster, but it's a late 7th round pick. Oftentimes they don't. But Jamal Rivers, normal dev, 84 speed, 66 strength. We'll see what we could do with him. And quite honestly, this draft class ended up being really good. Though definitely doesn't look like Jamal Rivers is going to make that final roster. But we end up with a 74 RJ Mitchell hidden dev at right guard. Definitely need to, work on some things. But I think day 1 he's stepping in, he's going to be a starter. On top of that, we'll also see Bryce Stallings get a little bit involved here, a 74 yet again. Normal dev. Despite, not having much speed, he has 99 break tackle. So he should be doing a lot with his little amount of speed, making things difficult for defenses. That's just what we need. Now, as for Brandon Graham, 65 overall normal dev, I very much think he could come in and develop. He's not honestly that far off of RJ Mitchell. So he's going to be a really solid backup offensive lineman. And as for Josh Johnson, surprisingly a 70 overall normal dev. He's got some really intriguing ratings. Actually, just short route running, very similar to that of the medium and deep. I think we could try to develop him. Being 6'3", I think he's a big slot kind of guy. And then the lowly Jamal Rivers. Definitely think this one was a bust. The finesse, not that good at all. He had the, A to C. Definitely looks like it was the C. But how about that tight end? We did not draft Nick Walker, true 68 overall normal dev. And I mean, there's some decent ratings there for sure. I think the awareness is what's taking him down, and some of the other blocking ratings definitely pretty weak. We traded, 3 and a 4. We got back a future 5, and we got Chigakonkwo. I think we definitely did. We made the right choice with that. And now jumping forward through the preseason, where we are in week 1. We've got some things to talk about, some things to take care of here. One of the areas of need for us is offensive tackle. Donovan Smith, we need to find a replacement. He's going to continue to regress. He had a really awful season last season. The biggest problem is at receiver. And with us now knowing what our next draft class is, we can look to make some moves. This draft class, almost the opposite of our previous one that we just went through, where there is not much offense here. We have some potential undrafteds at running back, tight end. We have a couple day 3 offensive linemen, and I doubt they're going to be anything spectacular. Where this class has some talent is outside linebacker. Now, Justin Spillman out of Villanueva, he is 6'3", 268. He's definitely going to be an edge rusher, whether it's power, speed. I don't really care. That's not really a position group I feel like we're going to utilize that much, so it's not a huge need for us. Now, Mitch Tolbert out of Penn State. He's someone who could either be an edge rusher, maybe off ball at 6'5", 241. Hard to tell with that size, though my bet is edge rusher. And again, not that big of a need. If these guys were off ball, that is an area of need. But those are the only 2 really draftable players outside of some late day 3 guys who would be depth. So honestly, I think this entire draft selection, all the picks we have, we could use for some trades. And where I am looking to start is with Jahan Dotson. Mostly because he's a young player. He will not regress throughout our time here, even if we go through to season 5. The hands, really good. Route running, pretty even. Injury, 90. We take a look here, 100% no way at all would we trade away Aaron Donald. But they're looking for just a straight up 2. Would still leave us with a 1, 3, and a 4 that maybe we could use to even bring in another receiver. That is on the table here for us. 2nd round pick, we have ourselves Jahan Dotson, but we're not done yet. And you know when I said that we weren't going to go with Godwin? Well, I was just testing things to see how open they were to a trade. And well, this is going to work. 1st round pick we give them. We get Godwin, but we also get a 3rd rounder back, which could help us go to a new position of need. And that position is to address the offensive line. Again, with the aging tackle we have, Rasheed Walker could be a great replacement. 24 years old. He's up to a 77 true overall, but he's a pretty well-balanced offensive lineman. And we would end up working out a pretty good deal here. We do have to give up 3 picks, a 3rd, a 5, and a 6, but we bring in another starting offensive lineman. And as for a quick update on other roster changes heading into the season, we've made some releases. Gonna run through these rather quick. Essentially guys that were just too low overall and couldn't make it to the practice squad, or some older guys like Tavon Young, Robbie Chosen even, who just weren't going to stick with us for the long haul, so give the opportunity to younger guys. And speaking of younger guys, also sent a good amount of guys to the practice squad as well, but this gets us to our 53. And now the final thing before we get into some in-game action. We've talked a lot about running a lot more 2 tight end sets, so to make a custom playbook here, we use the Lions template because we've switched to a vertical power offense. It's gonna fit us the best. So essentially I just went through and I start out all these situations. That way we're gonna focus more on the heavier sets, 2 tight end, 2 receiver, and a lot more on some running. So in terms of just the every down or 1st and 10 situations, this is what we're looking like. A whole lot of running, the occasional 2 tight end pass, but it's gonna be a lot of running. Give the ball to the running backs and let them go to work. After those final bits of changes, the trades, and the new playbook, we are 100% ready now to get into the regular season. Really happy with where this offense is sitting now. We've added a lot of guys. That was the focus of offseason 1. Defense, we've made a couple different changes. Cansey, he's down to defensive line, interior defensive line, if you will. Patrick Jones and the newly signed Martin, they're going to get this started outside backer. Smith and Dennis, linebackers. We'll still see a little bit of Pinnock as a sub backer. But overall, I think we definitely took a good step this off season. Donald stuck around. Hopefully it pays off for us. Now let's get season 2 officially underway as we start with a rivalry game here against the Steelers, starting with that heavy set run down the middle. This is exactly what we want to see from our offense. James Conner did pretty well season 1. We've added a lot more receiving talent. We've added help to the tight end spot, the offensive line. I expect this offense to take a big step forward if Pickett can stop getting picked off. 2nd play of the season, pick 6 for Shaquille Barrett. That is exactly why we were looking to go much more run heavy. Try to make things easier for Pickett as he develops. Good run here from Conner, just inches shy of the 1st. Pretty much all 1st down scenarios, run first. Short down and distances, run first. Though, as I say it, they don't call the run, we throw it. And that is a 1st catch for Okonkwo. Hopefully he has himself a great game. He was also tackled by Okoronkwo, so that is fun. As we go down the middle, now Chig is injured. Hopefully he's able to bounce back quickly because that is kind of the way that's what our offense is built around. Heavy tight end looks. Jesse James will have to step up then as Pickett rolls, throwing, finding the target. 1st down goes Watson. We're starting the season with him at the slot receiver. He just has a couple different ratings that I think we need over KJ Hamler, though want to get them rotating. Though it really all depends on if Pickett can throw a clean pass. We go back to the run on 2nd and 6. A jump cut that will gain actually a decent little bit there. Credit that to. But it will bring up 3rd and 4. Now we look to spread wide here. Got 2 down the bottom, 1 up top. Pickett dumping it off. 1st down goes to Conner. That is all we need of Pickett this season. Be the field general. We don't need anything risky. As we go with the jet sweep, Watson turns it into the jet dive. He will pick up 5. Kind of fun to see that play called on 1st down as it's not very high up in the plays that we have in the call sheet. But occasionally, try a little something new as the cutback works well for Conner down to the 20. Already 6 carries for him, so we should probably see more rotation at that running back spot when we get into the 2nd half of these games. Handoff again, Conner stretching up top, gets by 1, not gonna get by the next 2, but we are goal to go at the 5. Still a little bit of work left to do, but for the most part a pretty solid answer back from the 2nd play of this game. As we go back to Conner, space up top, though he does not break the plane. It's down to the 1. And this will pin bigs versus bigs for the first time this season. With the newly fixed line, we go with a toss, cut down the middle, and stop shy. And that's not good either. James Conner a little shaken up following the run, and he's headed off the field. This wasn't exactly how we wanted to introduce the rookie running back, but he'll have to do. 3rd and goal, we look to throw, and it is through the hands of the intended target. No splash play for Godwin's first target, but on 4th and goal, we stay out here. Need a push up front. Fullback gets the block, but Stallings is stuffed. We are denied on the goal line. And on top of that, forgot to get to the point where we're watching here, so we'll run a drive here with the defense as it's a stretch. We get back there a little bit. Kyron Williams, though, still picking up 4. But we'll get to where we need to be here on 2nd. Watching from up top as they spread empty. Now we have really bad news with the injury, as it's Kyler finding his target downfield. But unfortunately, on top of the big play, Connor, he is done today. But there we go, a little positive as Agancy will pick up half the sack. Couldn't quite tell who the other guy was that got back there, but we need a whole lot of that this year. 2nd and 13. Dropping back, Kyler going deep downfield and tipped away, but there is a flag down. And they're gonna get Aruarie with the DPI. Couldn't see if that was a true call or not, but it was called. Kyron trying to find some space, and he will pick up 3, and now Dennis is shaken up. Apparently we should have hired a new trainer or something this offseason. He heads off the field, joining Connor as he's not coming back today. We'll see the extent of that injury post-game. But so far, a lot of our key guys from last year, they're dropping here. 1st and 10. About time out here in the first quarter as it's a scramble from Murray. He'll pick up 5. Overall, not the best start to the season. We get pick 6 on the 2nd play, and then our following drive, which was looking good as the stop there, we get from Donald. But as I was saying, the drive thereafter stopped at the goal line. Now we need to stop here from the defense. 3rd and 6. Murray, he steps up, and it will not be the stop. He takes a couple shots, but it is a 1st down. Inside the red zone now. 2 up top, 1 down below. Murray going all the way up top, has his target bumped out, gain of 5. Drake London, the recipient that time. Could really use a turnover here from the defense. 2nd and 5. Murray looking to throw, has his target, and extends the lead as Kylan Granson gets the touchdown. We now jump forward a bit inside the 2-minute warning, closer to actually to a minute left here. Our offense hasn't managed much, and now we're trying to keep points off the board, but it's a big play for London. Has them down to the 32. So far, not seeing much of any difference with all the changes, at least for the offense. Defense, for the most part, stayed about the same. As Murray throws wide open, Jay Jets takes the hit, but he has the catch down to the red zone. With a bunch up top, 1 down below. Murray set the throw, dumping it off, and will actually be a loss of 1. Only 1 incomplete pass as well here for Murray in this one, 10 of 11. As they got 2 up top, 1 down below. Looking to throw again here. We just bring 4, nearly get back there, but it does force the overthrow. Steelers have 33 seconds, 2 timeouts to try to find some points here before halftime. We have that same amount of time, though 3 timeouts to try to keep them from getting at least a touchdown, but Williams keeps the drive going here. 1st down at the 7. You know, we still have some draft picks available for us to try to make some trades if we feel like we can find someone that can help this defense out a little bit. 1st and goal, throw, and knocked away. That was in triple, quadruple coverage. Aruarie there to get the breakup, this time not called with a DPI. 2nd and goal still at the 7. Murray going up top, and there is Aruarie. He gets the pick, and we've got 19 seconds 3 timeouts. We went out and traded for 2 big, at least for us, big-time receivers. We got Godwin to the right, Dotson to the left. Can we make some big plays here? Try to get some points before half-time? Well, not if we're getting sacked on first down. Though I would expect our line to hold up a little bit better than that. 2nd and 12. 2 to the right. Godwin now goes lone to the left-hand side. Needing some plays downfield. It is Dotson, but it is well overthrown. That's just going to end up being the trouble part for us this year. It's Kenny Pickett. He's got to step up. Because once again, we're going to have the late delay from Stallings, the rookie, in case they do bring the blitz, which they do. Watson downfield. He's got the step. He's got the catch. Timeout at the 34 with 2 seconds left. We will send out Ryland. This is a long kick, about a 51-yarder. It is up and not down the middle. He missed it wide right. We've had opportunity today. Haven't done anything with it. Now the Steelers in the second half take a 3-score lead. Look, could that be the awakening our offense needed? We're down inside the 30, close to the 25. Pickett up top. He's got a Conquo. Need a whole lot more of that down inside the 10. As we got Stallings in the backfield, we hand it off to him. A little slow to get through the blocks, but we also have to remember he doesn't have a whole lot of speed. 82 to be specific, but 99 break tackle. That's where he needs to come in clutch. 2nd and goal, heavy set. We go back to Stallings, and through the tackle attempt, Stallings, the rookie, gets his first NFL touchdown. But as the 4th quarter would begin thereafter, well, the Steelers driving yet again, so defense also has had their woes today. Handoff, Williams going nowhere. Smith and Maddox meet him. 3rd and 4. I would love a stop here, force a field goal attempt. As they go with the RPO, it's Jay Jets with a short gain. No first down. We've held them to 3 catches, 26 yards. But the Steelers offense stay on out. 7 minutes left here. Murray looking to throw, quick dump off, and Jay Jets will get it that time, though. Kyron Williams shaken up. Just like our starting running back, he too will leave the game. Now under 7 minutes, they go spread empty. To combat that loss, get the drag across the middle, nearly in for the 2nd for Granson. But it will force a 2nd. 2nd and goal at the long one. As it's the goal line set, down the middle, and takes the big hit. But he's going to bring the 7 points with him to the sideline. After that Pittsburgh touchdown, we would just get to the end of this one. We did score 1 more touchdown, and we got a 2-point conversion. Jahan Dotson getting that touchdown. But this was not the debut we were looking for. And if the loss wasn't bad enough, we also will be without James Conner and Dennis for the next 3 games. An abdominal tear for Conner, torn labrum for Dennis. It's going to give some younger guys a little bit more opportunity. But the offense was really banking on a tag team with Conner and Stallings. And I was really hoping Dennis would have a lot of time out there to continue to develop, because we need him to. And in the following week, it would be another loss. Multi-score 35-21. We at least put up a fight in the 4th quarter. We scored 14 there, but we gave up 14 in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, and we only managed 53 rushing yards. So that is not good. Kenny Pickett, 3 touchdowns, great. 2 interceptions, not good. But he did it on 74% completion, so an interesting day for Kenny Pickett. Russell Wilson had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Running-wise, Jonathan Taylor, great game. 7.7 yards for him, 2 touchdowns. And for us, Kenny Pickett was our leading rusher. Stallings carried the ball 12 times for 20 yards. Bit unfortunate. Receiving-wise, T. Higgins had a good game. Jahan Dotson, not too bad, just didn't get in the end zone. Godwin did get his first touchdown with us, and Chigakonkwo as well. Watson also pretty solid, so I think we have a pretty decent pairing of receiving targets. Now of which we might have to lean a little bit more on, which creates a little bit of some concern with Pickett's interceptions. But shout out, due to injuries, Brandon Smith got the start and he did get a pick in this game. But that does leave us to a good spot where we can pivot to more bad news. Kalijah Kancey, foot fracture. He is now out for the remainder of the first half of the season. So that is awful. On top of that, broken toe for Matthew Ioannidis. He is out for the next 3 games. So we're losing a lot of, these are 4 starters, 3 of which for the defense, 1 of which for the offense. Not too good. And the hits would just keep coming. 31-17. Once again, we put up 14 points in the 4th quarter, but we were well out of this one. Running game slightly better. Kenny Pickett, no interceptions in this one, but he completed only 54% of his throws. On top of that, Josh Allen, he completed 84%. So it was just a bad game through and through. Top 2 guys were on their side, including 2 touchdowns for Khalil Herbert. Bryce Stallings, he had a better rushing game. 3 yards on average, still not great. We also gave up a touchdown to the fullback. Receiving wise, anything good here for us? Well, Okonkwo back in the end zone. Jahan Dotson got a touchdown, though under 10 yards a catch. Not really good when your throws are supposed to be more mid-level, so around 15 yards. But we'll take what we get. And defensively, we were picking up a lot of tackles for a loss. Rashad Weaver, he saw some playing time. He had 2. Brandon Smith had 1 for Pinnock, as well as Jacob Martin and Anderson, who's having to play again due to injuries, which we had another in this game we'll talk about, though we did not pick up any sacks. We got sacked a lot, though. And for the 2nd year in a row, Dane Jackson suffers a pretty major injury, knee cartilage tear. He's out the next 5 games. So we are taking a lot of damage here early on. But somehow, through all of those injuries, we pick up our first win of the season, 19-17 against the Dallas Cowboys. This was a close game, both on the scoreboard and on paper. These stats so similar. We were just able to make that last final play, and it looked like Sean Clifford here actually threw a pass. I'm going to say that that's what set up the game winner, because why not? Kenny Pickett, 59% completion, though that's a better day than Joe Burrow. 209, 2 touchdowns, 51% completion. 219, 2 touchdowns, 59. Very, very similar. Rushing, Walker had 3.5, Stallings 3.4. Receiving wise, Jahan Dotson, another solid performance from him. Flowers had a good one, got in the end zone. Okonkwo back in the end zone. He should be getting some at least decent XP. They're developing at least. Chris Godwin, not as big of performances from him so far as I would have hoped. But defensively, once again, we were back making plays in the backfield. 2 TFLs for both Donald and Jones. Really need him to step up with Kancey out. We did give up a lot more plays in the backfield again. Or we did pick up a sack in this one with Donald. And I think a big help in this one was the fact that Harrison Butker missed 2 field goal attempts. Meanwhile, Rylan 100% on the day. And that leads us up to a big game here, as both the Browns, the Steelers, and ourselves are all 1-3 before we have the Week 6 bye. A win, especially if the Steelers also lose this week, that is going to climb us up. Bengals, they've started up pretty well. They are 3-1. But let's get into this one and hopefully come away with a much needed win. And we are getting started here late in the first quarter. About 2 minutes left. We're in plus territory. It's been a very defensive battle so far. Pickett having to roll. He throws. He finds Israel out of the backfield, but he drops it. That time actually pretty good play from Pickett. An accurate ball Got to hold on to it, though. Yeah, Israel doesn't have the greatest hands. Out of the backfield, though, is Stallings who makes the play. First down to the 23. 4 of 5 is Pickett. Now, we are supposed to have back Connor today, but he's already now out there. But there goes Godwin down to the goal line, though stopped just shy. And while we're going here, you can see the bottom, Steelers versus the Bengals. So it's just a rivalry week here today. First and goal, Pickett throws down to the bottom, and there is our first time watching the touchdown go to newly acquired Chris Godwin. I really think he can come in and provide a good uplifting style of play for Pickett. Now, we didn't really give him the best of receiving targets last season. He has that now, no excuses. As his first and 10 here, going downfield, the Browns moving down to the 30 following that catch. Jacoby Brissett, the quarterback now for the Browns. I don't believe that's who they had last season. I want to say it was Watson, if I'm not mistaken. Downfield and underthrowing, maybe overthrowing that one. Kind of hard to tell exactly who was the intended target. It was perfectly in between two different options. Second and 10. They go down the middle. Aaron Jones, who does not get by Maddox. Gain of 8. I'd love a stop, though, here. Third and 2 as we have a heavy line here. Most of the guys down on the line. I think that was 5 or 6 players. Quick throw, quick catch, but a quicker stop. That'll leave 4th and inches. But the Browns, they're going for it. Setting up a throw. Brissett knocked out by Maddox. A huge play there from the defense and from our number 1 corner, who's having to play a lot more outside with Dane Jackson's injury. Dennis also back as Connor is out here. Finally, we see a rush from him. 4 rushes, 18 yards. I was trying to get through this one at a quicker pace, but, we got sent right over here following that denial from the defense. So let's watch the drive as Brenton Strange gets his first catch that we've seen. Haven't seen him out there as much, or plays going to him as much as I was hoping. Still seeing a good amount of spread here, so might continue to tweak that playbook because he is a really promising young player. As James Conner shaken up again. We could really use with him staying healthy. But we jump forward a little bit here. About midway into the second quarter, Browns, they're now driving as Jones gets by a couple different defenders. Blocked downfield, nearly slipped by the last. 7 rushes, near 60 yards. Feel like we're definitely missing the fact that Ioannidis not out there. He definitely helps in the run stopping. Inside the red zone now for the Browns, though they're going for the end zone and overthrown. While we've seen the stats from these games, doesn't quite seem like the corners are doing a great job, but we've seen Aruarie do pretty well so far as we get pressure with Donald dumped off Jones. First down as Donald actually pushes him forward. Oh, I could definitely sit here and say, wish Madden didn't have that animation. It happens in real football as it's first and goal here. Brissett throwing, and this time he finds his target just over the top of the corner. Browns end up leveling this one up 7-7 as we have 3:03 on the clock. Before halftime, at least, we got all of our timeouts. We could run the offense as we want. Stallings looking a little shifty there, though that second carry for him, gain of 4, just gives him 1 positive yard on the day. So it looks like we're pretty heavily rotating that running back spot, especially with the injury downfield and having to play little defense. That cheap shot on Dotson not needed. What was needed was a flag from him. We didn't get it. So 3rd and 6. It's a tight single back set. Pickett looking to throw. They bring the blitz. We got an open target. First down goes Okonkwo. Now, he was one I wasn't expecting to have a huge impact, but a solid impact. He's been, I would say, closer to the huge. As Watson takes the quick pass, gain of 5. We hit the 2-minute warning, but keep this thing moving. We got a bunch up top, Okonkwo down to the bottom. Looking to throw, Pickett up top, wide open. Jahan Dotson with the first down, bumped out at the 40. So far, fingers crossed, knock on wood, this is a pretty good, rough 2-minute drive here. as Pickett does not like the way it came out here, so we're going to flip it. We send the trips down to the bottom. We send Okonkwo up top. They only bring 4 across the middle. We find our target. That is Godwin. Really impressed with Pickett's start in this one. 11 of 13. Second and 2, I wouldn't mind a run mixed in here. Or halfback screen. We get it out to Stallings. He's looking a whole lot faster than 82 speed. That game speed is a difference maker for sure. Some guys look slow in open space. Some look fast. And it could be vice versa. First and 10, quick throw up top. Okonkwo, a gain of 1. Quick tackle there, Alohi Gilman. Know him well from the previous states only. Leaving us with 2nd and 9 in the red zone. Going for the end zone, diving swat from 21 in Ward. Though I don't believe that is Denzel Ward. Would be interesting if he returned in the fantasy. 3rd and 9. They bring the blitz, and it will hit home. Coughed up ball, still out, and jumped on by Garrett. And as we were heading towards halftime, well, it gets even worse than coughing up the ball there on a scoring drive. We get tackled in the end zone. And the Browns take a 2-point lead with 2 seconds left in the second. And I can confirm it was Denzel Ward with the diving swat, because as we start the second half, Pickett has another turnover. It really does just come down to Kenny Pickett. And on top of that, we also had the break here with Madden, so I'm stuck here watching the remainder of this game. So we'll definitely continue checking in here when big things are happening, and we have so here, as the Browns looking to take a 2-score lead. 2nd and 5, rolling to the opposite way, Brissett. He looks to tuck and run, diving down at the 5. We'll leave him needing 3 on 3rd as they go 2 spread either side. Would love a turnover here, though we will see what we get as it's thrown essentially out of the back of the end zone. Defense will at least stand tall here, force the field goal attempt, keep this a 1-score game. And as the snap is back, kick is up, and it is good. And as we jump in here, this drive following another turnover by Kenny Pickett. Browns still looking to take that double-score lead. They're down inside the red zone following Jones' rush. And also, right before the play that we just saw, there was a fumble that we recovered. It was overturned. So that's just how this game is going. 2nd and 1, we get a little bit of some pressure, but they find their open target. Again, we talked about at the beginning of this game how important it is if we could get a win, and if the Steelers also lose, we could jump up to 2nd in division. But right now, our offense is massively struggling. But I got to give some props to the defense. They're putting up with a lot of poor situations, a lot of turnovers, forcing them back out on the field as they're trying to keep points off. The Browns keep finding themselves a great opportunity. 12-7 for now. 30 seconds and counting left here in the 3rd as it's lofted, nearly picked off by Maddox. But that will force a field goal attempt here yet again. Also, quick update on the score down below. Pittsburgh in front, 13-10 on the Bengals as the Browns widen theirs. As we jump forward yet again here into the 4th quarter, Browns offense, they're rolling yet again. Their defense has had our offense in their clutch. We just haven't been able to do next to anything. And they're looking to officially make this a 3-score game here with even a single point. Right now it is 8 points, and we haven't managed a first down, and I couldn't tell you how long. Meanwhile, the Browns, they've been moving well. Aaron Jones having a good game here, 81 yards on 12 carries. The good news, though, is the defense keeps forcing field goals. They're doing their part, and they're getting some good XP along the way. But this kick is up, and yet again, we got a field goal. So let's go ahead and jump into this next offensive drive just to see if we can make something happen, because it's got to be now. Kenny Pickett throws, and it's through the hands of Connor. He's had to play through a good bit of injury in this one, but trying to stick out there for his team. This game is in reach, but we need some big plays. Kenny Pickett across the middle and through the hands of Jahan Dotson. And honestly, this is the biggest plays I've seen us make so far, and we still haven't gained a yard. Empty set, 3rd and 10. Quick pass rush as Pickett rolls and throws away. He really does not seem like he wants to win this. But unless we could pull something out of nowhere here on 4th, it might just be about game. As we spread wide, Pickett up top, and we do pull it out of nowhere. It is Godwin up to midfield. Definitely did not expect that one. Can we do that a few more times? We got one up top, 2 down below, hard count, no one moves. Pickett in the pocket, pass rush, it's home. 3.5 for Russo today. He has all but a half of Cleveland's 4 sacks. He's been just fantastic up top, and that is the tackle that we traded for earlier on today. Still probably a better upgrade than who we had in Smith. We do pick up the lost yardage there on 2nd, leaving us 3rd and 10. As we send now trips up top, we got 2 down at the bottom, empty set here for Pickett. It's 4 down territory. As he looks to throw deep downfield and just a little too short. Blankenship tips it away. It looked like Connor did have the step, but that leaves us needing 10 here on 4th. 4th and essentially game for us. As Pickett goes up top, Godwin can't hold on to it. The Browns will look to run the clock. And this one would eventually come to an end. And the Browns did put up a couple more points. 7 more to add on to the tally, making it 25-7. And of course, to add to it, Kenny Pickett had to throw another pick. And this is where we're going to leave it. Very much bottom of the division, and on top of it, we will be without Aaron Donald for the next couple games as he dislocated his elbow late in that game. We suffered a lot of injuries. We suffered a whole lot of turnovers. Right now, Kenny Pickett, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But then we also take a look over at the running, and he's had 2 fumbles. So he's essentially even, just +1 on his touchdown to turnover differential. 60% completion. We just need more from him. The running game has not been that good to start off because we've been without Connor. Hopefully having him back, we're going to see a little bit of a resurgence with that. Only 1 rushing touchdown so far this season through 5 games. Receiving wise, Chris Godwin does lead us. I would want a little bit more, but with how much we're having turnovers and just problems finding our receivers, there's not much more we could do here, though. Next time, I'm going to go ahead and pull out Watson. We're going to give it to Hamler, see what he can do. They were pretty comparable last season. And we just might have to start giving some more playing time to these younger guys if the team cannot put together some wins. Blocking-wise, we saw a lot of sacks happen in that game. And pretty much all of the sacks given up by Walker were from that game. O'Neal 4 to this point. I would expect a little bit better, but the rest of the offensive line is doing pretty well. The rookie RJ Mitchell has only given up 1, and Bates hasn't given up any, or Scruggs. So outside of a couple bad games from Walker and O'Neal, offensive line is doing pretty well. Defensively, our leading tackle is Jordan Whitehead, our strong safety. Not too sure how I feel about that. Leading tackle for a loss is Rashad Weaver, a guy who's not even really supposed to be starting that much. But of course, we've had some things get shaken up with injuries. Aaron Donald with 3, as well as Ioannidis, who's also out injured. Sacks 3 for Donald. Not too much else there. Interceptions, Brandon Smith, and 1 for Aruarie. And lastly, kicking, Ryland 2 of 3, but 100% on his extra points. So as we finish here today, due to that Steelers loss we had early, as they did lose to the Bengals in that same Browns week, both of us 1-4, but we're on the bottom because we lost that game. So we're a half game behind them, and we're well behind the Bengals, but we don't play them until the second half of the season. If we could figure out some things, get this offense moving, there's too many playmakers for us not to be. I would understand the defense giving up a lot of plays, but they've actually continued to be the better side. Pickett just keeps putting them in unfortunate situations. So we got to figure out something to do with Pickett. We don't have many other options at quarterback, though we may have to look and maybe Clifford if we can't find ways to win games. The definition of insanity: continually doing the same thing while expecting a different result. We're not going to do that here. We're going to keep trying different things, so make sure you stick around. See what this team has in store for us next time, as we may get through the remainder of Season 2. If we don't turn things around, we 100% will. If we do, we'll play it a little bit by ear. So we'll see you next time. This series every single Tuesday and Thursday. To make sure you don't miss, hit that bell icon on the bottom right, or scroll down, hit the sub button, and definitely tap the bell icon. That way you are notified. We also have the Panthers traditional franchise. That one also looking to correct a poor start to the season. So these two series kind of in the same spot. Don't miss that one, and we will see you next time as we try to do something with Kenny Pickett.
How it's supposed to feel.